The storm had passed, but the forest floor was still soaked as Mira pushed through the tangled undergrowth. Her boots squished with every step. Her scanner beeped softly in her hand. The readings were erratic, but steady enough to follow. Whatever was down here beneath the moss and mud, it was old and pulsing with low-grade energy. She had not expected to find anything still working this deep in the abandoned sectors. The Cariot ruins stretched for miles beneath the trees sealed off since the end of the Third Cycle War. But Mira had grown up on stories of hidden vaults, strange guardians, and sleeping relics that waited for the right moment to wake. She always thought those stories were exaggerations. Until today. The tunnel appeared just past the fallen arch's entrance, half buried under roots and rubble. The scanner lit up with new intensity. Mira knelt and cleared the debris until the stone door revealed itself. Symbols carved deep into the surface glowed faintly blue as she touched them. The door opened with a hiss and a rush of stale air. Inside was dark and wet. The walls shimmered with condensation. Roots had pushed through the ceiling and pooled into muddy streams that trickled down the steps. Mira descended slowly, light from her wrist torch guiding the way. Her breath caught when she saw what waited at the bottom. A creature lay sprawled in front of a sealed chamber gate, its body long and lupin, but built like no animal from Earth. Its fur was silver streaked with black, and its eyes glowed faint violet. Its limbs were thin and worn. One paw twitched as she approached. It lifted its head weakly. She stopped. The wolf, no, not a wolf, not exactly, watched her without moving. Its breathing was shallow. Its chest rose and fell with slow effort. A low growl bubbled from its throat, but it did not rise. "I'm not here to hurt you," Mira said softly. The creature blinked once. She took a slow step forward, then another. The scanner beeped again. The gate behind the wolf was sealed with Cariot locking runes, but still pulsing. The creature must have been guarding it for centuries, maybe longer. She knelt near it, keeping her hands visible. "You're hurt," she said, "or maybe just tired." The wolf's head lowered again. Its paw rested on one of the gate's glyphs. She reached into her pack and pulled out a hydration capsule. She cracked it open and set it beside the creature. It sniffed, then slowly drank. Minutes passed. The silence was thick. Then the wolf spoke, not with sound, with thought. "You are not one of them." Mira froze. "Who are you?" she whispered. "I was called Tharn. Long ago, before the water came, before the gate closed." She swallowed hard. "How long have you been here?" 3,000 rotations. "I have not left my post." "Why?" "Because I swore I would guard it until the right one came." Her pulse quickened. "Guard what?" The wolf turned its head slightly. "What sleeps beyond this gate is not a weapon. It is not treasure. It is choice." Mira stared at the gate. "What kind of choice?" "The kind that ends war, or begins again." The air seemed heavier. They built it during the last Great War. It was meant to be used only if no other hope remained. I was chosen to stay, because I could wait, because I would not forget. You waited 3,000 years for someone like me, not like you. You, her voice caught in her throat. Why me? Because you still care, even after everything, even when there is no reason. She looked at the creature again, so thin, so tired, but its eyes burned with purpose. You could have left, she said. I was free to leave, but I stayed, because what lies behind this gate can only be trusted to a soul that would kneel beside a dying guardian and ask why. She felt tears press behind her eyes. What do you want me to do? Choose. Open the gate, or let it sleep. She looked down at her hands, at the gate, at the symbols, then back at Tharn. If I open it, what happens to you? My task ends. I fade. I am already fading. No, I can help you. I can get medics. We can No, I am not meant to last. I was never meant to outlive my duty. She clenched her fists. I don't want to be the one to make this call. That is why it must be you. She rose slowly and stepped toward the gate. The symbols flared under her hand. A hum filled the chamber. The glyphs shifted. A center panel unfolded. Inside was not a weapon. It was a seed, glowing softly. Alive. The last world seed, Tharn said. It can remake what was broken, but only if someone dares to plant it and care for it. Mira took the seed gently. It was warm. She turned. Tharn had laid his head down. His chest barely rose. She knelt and placed her hand on his fur. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you, came the soft reply. And then he was still. She left the tunnel an hour later. The seed, wrapped in cloth, pressed to her chest. The storm had passed. The sky above was clear. And for the first time in centuries, the future had begun again.